Hi everyone, I'm Blackie Wolf, and this is the MyForum series where we walk through developing a forum. In the previous episode, we took our first look at JavaScript and actually used it to dynamically load the HTML pages from the index page, which allowed us to do a sort of templating so we could keep our main template in one place while still allowing us to dynamically load the main content. However, we ran into a problem where we could no longer go back and forth and navigate the website using the browser back and forth buttons. In this episode, in order to help overcome this, we're going to go ahead and set up a local development environment where we'll be able to run a sort of pseudo web server, which is also going to help us later on. Now, if you're on Linux or Mac, you might not have to do this. It'll probably be a different way to do it with I think you can, on Mac, you can just use Homebrew to install the PHP code you need directly. And then on Linux, I think you can just download the files and stick them somewhere in the map to the code. But I'm on Windows, so I'm going to be using a tool called XAMPP. And XAMPP is a development environment for PHP. It comes with Apache, which is a web server for Linux, MariaDB, which uses MySQL, it's a database, PHP, which is a server-side programming language, and Perl, which I know it's a language, but I've never used it, and I'm not sure what it's primarily used for. Now, you can actually use whichever one you want. There's one called WAMP. And if you go to the alternative to .NET website, you can type in here XAMPP and find kind of alternatives to this. But I'm going to go ahead and just stick with XAMPP because it's what I know for now. And I might check out that Laragon one later. But you pick the one you want. Just know that you will need an environment that allows you to run some kind of web server which will serve up PHP. So if you want, you could technically use IIS also, which I think Windows comes with by default. Yeah, so you might have to turn it on and enable it, but should come with it by default. Okay, so let's install this. Okay, so got XAMPP installed. I had an older version. I had to delete that. And it was a pain because what happened? I had CouchDB installed also, and it was making use of some PHP file. Okay, but once you get this installed, you can come here and error Apache blocked port missing dependencies. So if it's freshly installed, you'll have to come here to config and at least go to this one. We really don't care about HTTPS right now unless you want to test that. Come in here, we change the port. I guess I'll make mine 7000. Okay, that's fine. And then I'll go ahead and change the SSL one too. Listen on 7001. Okay, start it up. Should start right up. Yeah. Okay, and now we should have ports running on localhost 700. And we do. Fantastic. Next thing we need to do is we have to move our files into this Htdocs folder. This is where everything is. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll navigate to projects / MyForum. See what the error is. Okay, so now that we have this page, not sure it should be doing this. Let's see. I removed these double dots, so it shouldn't be giving me that error. Let me go up a folder and see. Here's projects, here's MyForum. Are you kidding me? It was the spelling of the folder. So I had MyForum spelled all lowercase in the URL, but apparently doing that here makes it break. So we'll just say MyForum, even though that's not supposed to do that because it makes no sense. It's supposed to be case insensitive. Well, anyways, these are working again. So now we need to add an htaccess file. And we'll do it here. And it looks like there's an extension for this. Oh, okay, so one's a highlighter, one has snippets. I'm going to install both. Next, we need to add a rule which allows us to rewrite the URL without having to reload the web page. So basically, all requests will be rerouted to this HTML or this index file, and then this index file will execute JavaScript and stuff like that. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so there's this tool called Vue.js. It's a front-end framework, but this, I believe, will allow us to rewrite the URL right here. So we're just going to copy this. That was another thing I tried, but that's for something else. Come in here, save it. Okay, now on all requests should reroute through the index file. So now what we're going to do is come back here and see if it actually worked. So if I type in about, okay, so there's some stuff going on with my setup that I'm not sure what's happening with it. And there's actually some problems going on with my laptop anyways, so I've seriously thought about just getting a Linux laptop just for this. But anyways, what I've done is I just went ahead and I deleted everything that was under this Htdocs folder, and I just went ahead and copy and pasted our forum files in there for now. And that's just where I'm going to keep them till I can set up Apache properly with some local websites or something. And that updated. Okay. So yeah, now that we have our htaccess set up like this, I want to see just what information is being given back by the browser. So okay, cool. And it looks like, yes, it did get the about information from the URL, but still redirected it to the index file, which is perfect. That's what we want. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change this up a little bit. We're going to keep this page loader simple. So I just want the path name. So what I'm going to, yeah. So we'll come back in here. We'll get rid of these data attributes. And we'll I'll just put that there. Put about back. Put contact back. And we want to go back to these thread pages and this forum page and change the links and put them back also. So let's go ahead and do that. However, remember, we don't want to put the HTML file extension back on it. We just need to replace the data pages with refs. Okay, and so now if we go back to the index page, refresh. Oh, we forgot to change the forum. Hold on a second. I thought I changed the forum. Let me refresh this. Okay, so now it's working. Sometimes, okay, so yeah, you can see it says thread 2 right there. Click on this, and it says thread 1. So that's what we want. And it's okay. So yeah, sometimes you need to right click this refresh button up at the top in the browser. Sometimes it'll have stuff like normal reload, hard reload, or empty cache and hard reload. And you want to select this one, and this will clear up some of the changes because the browser will actually cache the website page in order to help speed up loading it in the future. Now that we've got that set up, we want to come back down to our JavaScript place, and we want to put location dot path name substring from 1, because we don't want the slash, and it's going to have a slash at the beginning. Okay. Actually, no, let's just go ahead and pass the path name. And then we can get rid of enable links. We don't need that anymore. Or actually, yeah, we do. Yeah, no. Let me think about this. I'll keep enable links, but I'll change it. Instead, we'll get all the anchor tags. And for each link, we'll add the event listener. Nope. Let's just get rid of this. Never mind. I'll change my mind. We're just going to comment this all out. Okay. And then we'll come back down here. And I take that back. We will do substring 1 and get the everything except for the hash. So now if we do this, we come back to our index page, refresh, but it's still not quite giving us that single page application thing or feeling that we want. But the good news is we can backspace. We can go back and forth, and that's really what we want. But I don't like that it's still reloading the entire page. So let's see if we can't stop that from happening. Okay, so while using this event prevent default allows us to, or rather prevents the links from reloading the page, we run into an issue where we can't navigate anymore. So I'm going to try something a little bit different using the window.pop state. So what I'm going to do is add an event listener to window, which is the other alternative to document. Document is literally just the HTML page, but the window includes a little bit more information than that. Okay, so but we want pop state. And I want the event. And I want to prevent default. So let me think about this. Let's get rid of that. Just comment it out for now, and I want to see if this is helpful in any way. Let's see if DOM content is being reloaded. If it's working, it should only say yo 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 once, never again. So reload, and it's not, it's reloading the page. Okay, we don't want that. So then what we're gonna do is continue to use the enable links. So we're going to change this, and we're going to intercept the click. Every time a link is clicked, we are going to programmatically change the URL of the browser. And the way we're going to use that is by using window, shoot, what is this? It's the history API, I think. And then push state. Okay. Okay, so that seems to be, at the very least, you can't see it, but it is changing the URL up here. And let me just, let me show that real quick, actually. If this will quit it, shoot my foot off. Okay, so you can see that it changes the URL. But now what we're going to do is actually make it do something. So once we change the window, we're going to await the load page with the path name. We're going to pass that as an argument. And then we're going to once again enable page links, because this will load new content into the page. So we'll have to set up these events on every link in case there's links in the web page. But let's go ahead and see if this works. And I'm probably going to have to do this. Okay. And look at that now. It just broke. Why? Ah, okay. I got it. So the path name includes, okay, so I have to do the same thing for this that I did for, and just to make sure. Okay, so now it should work properly. And there we go. And rather now I can go back and, okay, and that's the second problem. Okay, so if you remember before we set up this pop state event listener, this is going to fire every time the URL changes. So let's say we go to forum. It's not changing until you can see the console log now. We actually use the back and forth buttons in the browser. Then it changes. So that's actually okay. That's what we want. So that's the state. You know, I think the state is fine for now. This doesn't have to be complicated. Let's go ahead and get the state, and then we can pass the state to our load page function. So you make this a sync. And a better way of doing this rather than using substring would be to filter out the first path. Rather check if there's a slash at the front. If there is, then get rid of it. But we don't have to worry about that right now. And I'm just doing this to make things consistent. Okay. Now that we've got that, and I'll have to enable links again. So now that we've got that, because I'm having to do the enable links after every single load page, what I'm going to do is include this enable links in this method. That way we only have to mess with it in one place, and I'm going to do it after every single time the content changes anyways. So it makes sense. Okay, let's see if this finally works. And go back. And it's navigating. Look at that. So that's great. This episode was really a continuation of the previous one. We needed to get this environment set up because this is how it's going to kind of be on the web server. And I slightly regret not using ASP.NET right now, but we're going to use PHP for this. So yeah, a much better version of our page loader. Except if you look right here, looks like we're having some problems where the history state is changing way too much. So that's not good. Looks like something is happening in our forum. Well, it looks like I'm consoling this. I'm saving them. I'm logged. Here it is. So this page load is happening multiple times. Okay, no, I see the mistake I made. Right. I take that back. We cannot put this in here because it creates a circular dependency. So, well, that stinks. Thought I was being clever. Nope, I just made it worse. So now if we come back here, then it will be fixed. Let me get rid of this console log too. So yeah, it's not taking forever to load the page anymore. And so yeah, we've made our single page application a lot better. It now works in what we would consider to be a web development environment. So I had a lot of trouble when I was doing this. I don't know why things would freeze, things would take a long time. So I'm going to look into fixing my computer, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to know more about something that I didn't cover in detail or in depth. Just remember that having a local development environment is very important. It's also very important to be careful you don't accidentally break your environment in some way, which can easily delay the development of your product. But yeah, once again, let me know what you guys think about this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.